How's it going, guys? Welcome back. I wanted to make another video about I wanted to talk about like Scream 3 and all that. I tell you and I want to talk about tell you why I like it a lot and why I don't think it's a bad movie. I just wanted to talk about say that it's underrated basically is what I'm trying to say. Um because I feel like it is very underrated. Scream 3, as we know, man, we know it gets a lot of hate, which um gets a lot of hate mostly because it was around the time when there was like some kind of shootings going on back in the day, and people said that they didn't feel like there was a lot of gore or nothing in the movie. Um, but I'm gonna go over why I think it's underrated and why I like it. So, and by all means, if people don't like it, you know, that's your opinion. But this is my opinion, and this is my opinion of why I like it. And only my opinion, you know. And if you like it, if you hate it, that's fine, you know. But I like it, and I think it's a great film. I think it was a great, trilogy. Honestly, so let's just start by saying this. Um, Let me tell you why it gets a lot of hate. Mostly, I think it gets a lot of hate mostly because of well, because they talk about Sydney's mother the whole movie. I think that's basically why, and because they say that the people say that they didn't enjoy the characters or nothing, and they didn't like the setting, how he's in Hollywood, all this stuff. But let me tell you, I enjoyed that setting. I really enjoyed that setting because if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, the first movie you have high school, second movie college, and then third movie the biggest of all, Hollywood. I mean, it makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. I really enjoyed that movie, man. It's really underrated. I think it doesn't get enough love that it deserves. Um, I think it gets more hate than love, and I don't see you know, where it's coming from, because I actually enjoy the film, and people have their own opinions, of course, but I actually enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the whole Hollywood setting. I enjoyed all the characters and all that, especially like Parker, like Posey and all that. I enjoyed her a lot. I enjoyed the whole like cast a lot. Like the beginning scene when Cotton's like driving down the street and all of a sudden he's all talking to this girl or whatever, but it turns out to be the killer or something. Like, so basically in this movie, the killer's got the ability to change his voice and all that, which I really liked a lot, and he would sound like anybody, he would impersonate absolutely anybody. Um, it's kind of like people ask, well, how the hell did they have that technology back in the day? Well, I don't know. I have no idea, but I like, you know, I, you know, I really enjoy that, man. I really do. I mean, it wasn't like it was in a house. Like, what's to say? Because the other movie, the Scream 1 was in the house, obviously. Scream 2 was in a movie theater. Scream 3 was in our car. He was in a traffic jam. Cotton was in a traffic jam, and he gets a phone call from the killer. So, and he has to hurry up and get home to save his girlfriend and all that shit. And he's got to hurry. I like that, man. It wasn't like a house, you know. A girl gets a phone call in the house. It was actually kind of a good take. Where if you think about it, if it's Hollywood, he's in a traffic jam, and he rushes to get home to save his girlfriend, and he's trying to hurry because the killer's stalking his girlfriend and all that at home at his house, and he's trying to hurry and get there and all that. I think that's a great beginning scene. Honestly, I think it's my favorite, one of my favorites in the franchise. Honestly, and I like the whole mystery thing. Like why is the killer leaving the photos of Sydney's mother and all this. I really love that. I think it's a really great. It's a really great. I think it's a great story. Honestly, I think it makes a lot of sense. And people like, well, how come Sydney and the dude at the end, Roman, how come they didn't interact? Well, like I said, man, you can say what you want about them not interacting in the movie, but let me just tell you this: they didn't interact in the movie because realistically, he wouldn't wait to the end. He wanted to wait to the end, settle it face to face. Other than that, would have kind of been stupid for him to interact with her in the middle of the movie. Especially if he's like related to her in some way. Why would you interact? Like, why would you interact um during the movie? You know, and you can't say that this movie. And man, it's just so underrated in my eyes. All right, it really is. I think it's overlooked in a lot of ways. Um, I like that one scene when when Sydney actually walked into the Hollywood set and she seen Scream 1, the houses from Scream 1, from Scream 1996, and she seen Stu's house, she seen her old house from the first movie. I really enjoyed that scene, and she was like hearing like flashbacks, like the whole like PG-13 thing when she was talking to Billy and all that. I really enjoyed that scene because she was like reliving basically like in '96. She went back in the room and she was like reliving that moment, and reliving what happened in '96 with Billy and Stu and what they were saying. I actually really enjoyed that scene, and people don't really give it credit, but it's Hollywood. You know, you can say what you want about Jay and Silent Bob being in it, but it's fucking Hollywood, guys. It's Hollywood. I mean, what else? It's Hollywood. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Why not have a little fun? You know, I mean, that's where movies are made in Hollywood, right? That's where all the celebrities live. So what's the problem? Wasn't Jay and Silent Bob being in the movie? I don't see a problem with that. I actually enjoyed that, honestly. Um, but as I said, the ending was probably the best ending, and I like that one scene also when they're all in the mansion, right? Ghostface appears, and they're all like trying to fight him and all that, and they're all trying to beat him up and fight him, and he's just all knocking Dewey out. He's all brawling with everybody, and then he just chases that black guy. That was probably the best, man. The best scene when he was chasing that black guy down the stairs, Tyson or whatever. I like that scene. He was all running down the stairs, and he was like, "Oh shit," that shit was funny, man. He was all running down the stairs, and he ran on the he he ran, and the Ghostface he was run as he was running. Ghostface grabbed the carpet and he flipped him. He like he made him like slip, and then he threw him off a balcony. I enjoyed that scene, man. I really do. I enjoyed when everybody was brawling with Ghostface. I think that shit was actually pretty fun to watch. Really, man. Man, that's probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. When they're in Milton's mansion. Um, and obviously that one scene, like I said, with Sydney, when she sees her old house and she sees her mother. And that scene when she sees her mother, she's hearing flashbacks of Steve and Billy, what they were saying. Basically saying that she was a slut. Basically saying that, they were basically, calling, because they killed her, obviously, and I like that scene when you hear their voices, in the background. Basically is what I'm saying, you know, what they're saying. Um, but my favorite scene all around in the movie, man, was definitely the Milton's Mansion scene where, like, Sid Tyson and uh, Dewey and, like, Gail and all of them were all brawling with Ghostface and all that. And Gail's all throwing shit at him, and they were all just brawling with him, basically. I love that scene. I really truly enjoyed that scene. I enjoyed the whole movie, really. But that's probably my favorite scene of the whole movie, man. Like, it's just so fun to see, like, Tyson and all that when he was running. He was all like, oh, shit. He was all running down the stairs. He was like, that reaction that you have, when you're running from somebody. Like, shit was kind of funny. Uh, um, but yeah, man, I think it's a really underrated film. I don't think it gets any credit. Um, and I think I like that route, and especially the ending. I'm gonna get to the reveal. Obviously, you could say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want about the movie. You can say whatever you want about Sydney not seeing her, seeing him interacting with him or nothing. You can say whatever about that, but at the end of the day, it was the right move to wait until the end. Honestly, I think it was the right way. And let me just talk about the ending. So, obviously, the killer ends up being Roman Bridger. He's the director of the movie, of Stab or whatever. In Hollywood, because it's basically a movie inside of a movie. That's what it basically is, and he's basically taken out all the cast members in the movie, one by one. All the people that are casted in the movie. He, so the ending, he's obviously the killer, right? And at first I was like, I didn't think he was the killer, honestly, guys. I didn't really think he was the killer. I didn't think he was a killer at all. I thought it was just like some kind of, like, I thought it was maybe, I don't know. I didn't think he was the killer. I thought maybe it was going to be maybe Patrick Dempsey or that one officer that was working with him. I forget his name. Um I forget his name though. Um but I thought it was either the guy who was working with Patrick Dempsey or Patrick Dempsey. Cause okay, so you see this guy fake his death, right? You see him fake his death, and you think to yourself, well, now he's dead, so who the hell? It's got to be someone else, And then it kind of messed with your head, and then later on, you find out that it's him, that he's actually faked his own death, and he's actually the killer. So I think it's actually the best twist of any Scream movie, because I don't think anybody in the Scream franchise has done that, especially like did like a fake death or anything and made you think about like who the hell else could it be, Like that's what I felt like when I first watched it. I was like, there's no way it could be that guy. I think it's somebody else, And but then at the end, it kind of just, tricks you, and then it turns out to be him, and he faked his death. That's what we need more in films, especially Scream films, because that's what Scream's about. the death mystery, you know what I mean? Um, um, but so I'm gonna talk about the ending. So the ending was probably the best ending of any Scream movie, in my opinion. And let me tell you why. Because the fact that these two are brawling, and the fact that he unmasked and all that, that right there was the best part about it. The way he unmasked, and I always said I always loved the unmasking. In any Scream movie, I like the unmasking way better than just having them just show up and say that they're the killer. I'd rather them like unmask. I think it's better. Um, but when he unmasked, man, it was probably the best scene that I ever watched. Um, the fact he was talking about that he told Billy, basically this Roman guy, basically Roman, he told Billy and them to kill Sydney's mother and all that, basically. So basically he's the one behind all like the murders in the first movie, basically. That's basically what it is. He's basically behind it all, and he's mastermind basically. And he they end up fighting each other at the end. Him and Sydney end up fighting at the end. And you can't say you don't like that, because I do. I think it's actually a great scene. They're all, brawling and doing this and that, and man, they're just kicking each other's asses, like going back and forth. You can't say you don't like that, man. You know, I think it's underrated. Really, I think it is. Um, I think that's probably like my second favorite scene is definitely when they fight, because the way they brawl, he's all hitting her and she's all hitting him with like bottles and shit. They're all just going at it with each other. And it turns out he's got a bulletproof vest. Obviously, that's what Randy said in the video. He was like saying that you can't shoot him. You have to blow him up. You have to do something else because he's not going to die from getting, from bullets. Because he's wearing a bulletproof vest. We find out at the end. He's wearing a bulletproof vest. Shooting him ain't going to do nothing, basically. So, they're all brawling at the end and this and that, and then, yeah, it's probably the best reveal that I've ever seen in any Scream movie. Honestly, if you think about it, I think so, man. I really think it's the best. It's the best Scream movie. Like I said, the first movie is the best, but the third one's definitely the second best, in my opinion, because that ending scene when they're all fighting each other, you really feel it, man. You really feel it. You know, you really feel like you know, I felt it kind of inside of me. It kind of felt a little real. It felt real to me, when I was watching it. And when I watched Scream 3 a lot of times, but when I first watched it, I was like, man, I'm really feeling this scene. I really enjoyed it. It was the best scene probably in the whole franchise. They're all fighting each other, like I said, and then obviously, he gets killed. Dewey shoots him, and keeps coming out, keeps getting up, keeps coming at him, and nothing, and, then eventually he shoots him in the head and kills him. But the movie, really, the ending was pretty damn good. I think it was the best reveal. The fact that people have a problem with this movie, the fact that people got a problem with this kind of movie is kind of upsetting to think about, because it kind of makes sense if you think about it, because first movie high school, second movie college, third movie Hollywood. I mean, it makes sense, right? So that's all I gotta say about it, man. The ending was definitely the best ending I've ever seen. The fight. And fun fact, guys, if you guys didn't know, You know that scene where Sydney was fighting and she was stabbing him? Well, it actually turns out that Sydney actually really stabbed him in that scene. Nev Campbell actually really stabbed him in that scene, and he actually was really screaming in pain in that scene. I don't know if you guys know that, but I heard about that and didn't know that at all. But yeah, man, they were brawling it out and all this and that, and then eventually, you know, Dewey comes and finds they're all trying to find a way in because it's obviously like a mystery kind of door and shit. It's all like got locks and all this type of shit. You know, and they're all trying to get in there and save Sydney and all this, and they're all brawling it out. Man, just this is great. Very underrated in my opinion. Very underrated. You know. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below and give me you guys' thoughts. You know, you guys can, you know, speak your opinion if you want. You know, everybody's got a right to their opinion, you know. But truly, I think it's underrated, and I think it's unappreciated, and I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you guys really think. All right, guys. Peace out.